They're 12-3, you said?
Yep. All right. Hello and welcome. We've got our championship game here of the fourth annual Black Hills Veterans Classic Tournament. This is the big game. It's all been leading to this. The 4-0 Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers up against the 4-0 North Platte First National Bank of Omaha Nationals. This is going to be a big one. On the mound here for the Sixers is going to be the big 6'7", 260 Nebraska commit, Bradley Feeser. And this North Platte team, I have not seen personally. This Sixers team, though, looking like a threat, maybe even to get to the national stage of Legion Ball. They're 4 very good wins, beating both the second and third place teams, or beating the Hard Hats and the second place Mitchell Post 18. Beating Mitchell Post 18 in their game. So that's what the Sixers have done. On the other side, here is the 4-0 team out of Pete Lean. They've won dominant over Miles City, the Outlaw Baseball Club that we will play, that the Hard Hats will play at 4:30. They've also been able to beat this Canyon City team we just saw lose in a heartbreaker 7-6 in the 7th place game against Sturgis. Outside of that, these Nationals have been able to pull off an 8-0 rout of the Rogue baseball team from Englewood, Colorado. And then finally, the Nationals were able to beat the 320 Stars 7-2. So they've been pretty dominant in all their games so far. I'm excited to see what they're able to do. So far, one of the two teams that we've had out of Nebraska has been really good. Lincoln Southwest. Their only loss coming to the Hard Hats in an 8-7 walk-off comeback in the bottom of the 7th. They were able to beat a whole bunch of great teams. The other team from Nebraska, the Scottsbluff West Coast Zephyrs, they started out strong with a win, and then the fact that they only brought 10 players really got to them, and they lost their last 3 straight. They're playing over at Pete Lee right now in the 5th place game. And then that'll be up against that Rogue team from Englewood, Colorado. And then we will have and then finally just the North Platte was able to get here off of the secondary tiebreaker, which is runs allowed per inning, because the Expos got roughed up by Canyon City for 10 runs in a game. They won 23-10, so that drove it up. And meanwhile, North Platte's most allowed has been just 2 in both the 320 game and the game against that Canyon City team. So this will be interesting. Cheyenne Post 6, the favorite coming into this, but I have seen nothing of this FNBO Nationals team. Excited to see what they've got, and they should not be taken lightly by any Sixers fans watching.
This should be an outstanding game, and Oliver, I would say this, the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers, they are a team that can just win any number of ways. They can play small ball, they can go with power, they have speed, and then they have starting pitching in absolute spades. And what you'll see today, in the Veterans Classic Championship game, is you're going to see Bradley Feeser. He throws very hard, consistently getting into the 90s and the low to mid 80s. And he is somebody that can locate his pitches. He had, I think, 1 or 2 shaky outings. One was a loss to the Post 22 Hard Hats back in May. No, that's right. He won that game.
And then he was the sole winner of the in the series for Cheyenne Post 6 against the Hard Hats here in that series. He did allow 4 runs. But over 6 innings of work, 4 runs was enough.
He's just so good. Bradley Feeser is a dominant starter. So the North Platte Nationals, the First National Bank of Omaha North Platte Nationals, they have their work cut out for them. But here's what we do know. We don't know too much about the starter, Ty Robinson, for North Platte. But what we do know is North Platte came to Rapid City knowing that they were in the weaker of the two pools when they were placed in the Pete Lean Stadium pool. So you would have to believe that North Platte held back one of their aces for this 12-3 baseball club to come here and put their very best on the mound for this shot at the title. So I'm expecting a very entertaining game. And Oliver, let's play ball shortly.
Yep, getting excited. North Platte has played this Cheyenne team. I'm seeing right now they played Cheyenne in a doubleheader back in May of, uh, back in, or sep not September, but they did play them back in 2021. They are not completely known, or not completely strangers to this Cheyenne team. They have played something like this. I can't remember the Hard Hats playing these guys, but it's possible.
No.
So Ty Robinson on the mound. There are 3 ties on this team. A tie, 2 ties and a Tyler here for the Nationals. Seems to be a common theme where almost every post team, Legion team in Nebraska seems to have themselves a sponsorship. That's a little different from the rest of the Midwest that we've seen, but the
It's
Wesco
different.
Zephyrs from Scotts Bluff and then the Pinnacle Bank Lincoln Southwest High School Silverhawks also represent a sponsor.
And I think Kearney has been sponsored by Runza for many years, the legendary fast food restaurant in Nebraska. Boy, Runza is always a good idea. And then I know that Omaha has various banking sponsors and restaurant sponsors as well. And yeah, that's part of Nebraska's Legion scene is corporate sponsorship, and that's not something we see in South Dakota as far as the name on the teams are concerned, but it's what we, or in Wyoming for that matter. I suppose if Cheyenne Post 6 was to have a corporate sponsor, I can guess who it would be.
Frontier Day, or
Probably Taco John's, since their world headquarters is based in Cheyenne.
That's
So
possible, yeah.
there you go. But no, it's
Taco John's is present out here in Rapid
Taco
City.
John's is just huge. But anyway,
No, I mean it's regional. It's not.
well, it's big enough that it makes the national news now.
It does.
Taco Bell tried to have Taco Tuesday, and
So did
They
LeBron.
were corrected that Taco John's started Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to baseball. We're gonna have a great game. The 12-3 North Platte Nationals against the 27-4 Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers. Oliver, we've seen a lot of this Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers team, and there's just a player on this team, Coulter McAnally, that will play in the Pac-12 next year for the University of Utah Utes in Salt Lake City. He is one of those players that seemingly can transcend the game. I really think he will be in the show someday.
That's very possible. He showed it yesterday. Grand Slam, big one up against Huron Post 7. And he's also a very good defensive shortstop. I expect to see him there. Will he be? He will be batting third at short and playing shortstop today. Bradley Feeser, more or less a power pitcher, but with plenty of stuff to go along with it. He's an intimidating force and former or future Cornhusker, which I'm sure means quite a bit here to this North Platte team.
Oh, it does. I mean, a lot of our great fans watching Hard Hats TV right now in North Platte, they're very proud of their Huskers. They should be. I'm from Omaha. I'm proud of my Huskers, and now that Matt Rule is at Nebraska, we're expecting to contend for Big Ten championships and try to get back to winning some more national titles in a couple years. And I'm very proud of the Huskers, and I'll say go Big Red.
Yep, totally. Well, Feeser definitely the big one. I believe he was the top. It seems like he's the top pitching prospect in Wyoming, which is not a surprise by any means. You go to a just something like that, but that's a big one. Feaser seemingly discovered by Nebraska while at what is known to the Hard Hats as the Creighton Tournament, and what is officially known as the College World Series Tournament, which we will be doing around College World Series time. I believe that's late June.
Believe it or not, Oliver, it's just in about 3 weeks from now.
Okay.
It's around the corner. Of course, the NCAA baseball regionals underway this weekend and also tomorrow in some cases. And we've been keeping you updated on some of those scores. Elimination games are happening earlier today and across the country. And then after the regionals, you go to the super regionals next weekend, the best of 3 series to determine who makes it to Omaha. And then next Saturday, we'll start the College World Series. It'll be a week from Saturday, but we'll have the College World Series beginning in Omaha. But the actual Creighton tournament, I believe, happens about day 3 or 4 into, maybe even day 5 into the College World Series itself.
Yes.
Because the College World Series lasts for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It used to be a tournament that lasted 8 days. Not anymore. Now it's like 17 days, it seems like. But that's the College World Series, and there will be a huge tournament that the Post 22 Hard Hats will be playing in Omaha, and likely the Cheyenne Post Sixers and these North Platte Nationals will probably both be at that tournament as well.
Yeah, so going into Bradley Feaser, I was trying to find some more stuff on him. He has not been to major camps to get his stats recorded on any major websites very recently. So the most recent we have is November 2021, which is quite some time ago. That is about a year and a half since I'm sure since then he's definitely developed more and grown and whatnot. But as of then, he had an 88 mile per hour fastball with some pretty good spin action. Then he had a changeup in the high 70s and a curveball in the low 70s with 2,464 rotations per minute, which would put him pretty high even on the MLB standards for curveball spin rate. And it's something to keep in mind. But Feaser, a dominant force. Sorry for overestimating him on stuff, but he is apparently officially 6'6". I wanted to say 7, 6'6", and about 235. But he is one of the premier prospects in all of Legion baseball, I'd say right now, and he will be taking the mound. He did get roughed up when he came here last for the to play Post 22, but still, his last time out, Feaser was able to. I guess Feaser has had plenty of shutouts this year. He's been pretty dominant. Shout out to our friends at Post 6 Baseball. They're happy to promote our stuff for these broadcasts. But here is the championship game. I'd like to meet their social media person if they have the time at some point. Maybe Omaha, maybe something like that. But got plenty to talk about. This team, as an entire team, through 27 games going into this tournament, Cheyenne Post 6 posted a 2.24 ERA as an entire team, with 244 Ks to just 71 walks. So that's something special. They also batted as a team 361, which is just insane. Meanwhile, they also have been very effective in just double base hits and whatnot. And this is going to be a tall task here for the Nationals. We'll see if they're up for the challenge.
Well, one thing to keep in mind if you're a Nationals fan, and this is a big factor, I think, in this championship game coming up, and that has been the slow starts, relatively slow starts for Cheyenne Post 6.
They usually wait about 2 innings.
Sixers, they have been able to break loose with big runs in the middle innings in this tournament, but they have not been getting those huge, 6, 7 run innings right out of the gate. And Huron post 7 was able to hang around with Cheyenne post 6 for a while. The Hard
Okay.
Hats on Friday night hung around for a while. And if you're the Nationals, if you can get a lead, and keep in mind, I mean, Cheyenne post 6, they've been frustrated a number of times because they're used to getting a bunch of runs on the board early in games and then turning it over to their pitching staff and their defense and taking it from there. But that has not been how things have gone in pool play here at Fitzgerald Stadium these first 3 days of the Veterans Classic. So if the Sixers start out slowly again, you have to believe that that really opens the door for North Platte, Nebraska to get a early lead. But they're going to need to get some runs before Bradley Feeser settles down into one of those quintessential deep freeze Feeser grooves, you might call it, where he just can lock in and completely dominate the opposing hitters.
So I found a very interesting development. I was unaware of this. These teams not only have played before, they played just a week ago, a doubleheader in North Platte. That was the most recent series right before this tournament. It was the most recent series right before this tournament. I actually played 3 games against this team. So in the opening game of that series, it became, after 4 innings, the Sixers were up 4-2 over the Nationals, and they finished that game with a 13-2 mercy rule. Then, in that second game, they got a little bit more trouble. With McAnally on the mound, they were unable, or not McAnally on the mound. I think that's Feeser on the mound, I think. Yeah, Feeser on the mound. They struggled and were able to hit him. The Nationals were able to hit him. It was 7-4 after 4 innings, though a 8-7 comeback allowed the Sixers to come away with a very slight win, and that was their win there. That was that was McAnally in that game 1, and then in the final game of that series, after 4 innings, the Sixers led 5-2, and they finished it out 11-4. So a sweep, but not that. I mean, all 3 games, 2 of them quite dominant for the Sixers, but that second game they trailed 7-4 and only won 8-4. Who's to say that any given Sunday here you're going to see if perhaps the Nationals can close it out and maybe get the upset?
Well, the Nationals, if I do my math right, their only losses then this year came at the hands of Cheyenne.
They're 13-0 otherwise.
So it shows you just how great a team the Nationals are and how great a team the Sixers are. This will be a tremendous championship game. Let's get ready to bring it to you, and we're going to have the starters announced one by one since this is the Veterans Classic Championship game. And Oliver, I'll turn it over to you with our starting lineups.
So starting us out here, we'll do the Nationals lineup as they're getting announced right now. Leading off for them will be second baseman Carson Johnson, followed by left fielder Andrew Brosius. Then at third base, Carter Kelly will bat third. The pitcher, Ty Robinson, will bat cleanup. Shortstop, Jack Polk, will bat fifth. Then in center, batting sixth, is Caden Johnson. Then the right fielder will bat seventh, Tyler Townsend. Is that Townsu? Then the first baseman, Landon Greeno, will bat eighth. And finally, at the 9 hole will be Tristan Bayes. That's going to be your lineup there. The first 3, second baseman Carson Johnson, left fielder Andrew Brosius, and third baseman Carter Kelly. The middle 3, pitcher Ty Robinson, shortstop Jack Polk, and center fielder Caden Johnson. And then the final 3, right fielder Tyler Townsu, first baseman Landon Greeno, and catcher Tristan Bayes. Then on the Cheyenne side of things, leading them off once again, their great leadoff third baseman Mason Tafoya, followed by playing right field, not center field today, will be Julian Romero. and he will be batting second. Then the Utah commit and star of the tournament so far, the shortstop Coulter McAnally, the man they call Waiotani, is going to be batting third. Then first baseman Hayden Swain will be cleaning up. He's sometimes catcher. He'll be playing first. Followed by, at the 5 hole, the left fielder Corey Williams. Catcher Caden Anderson will bat sixth. And designated hitter Braden Pearson will bat seventh. Feezer only has to worry about one side of the ball. Then the center fielder Nolan Horton will bat eighth. He's playing center instead of Romero. They must have liked what they'd seen in that Huron game. He had a couple of good plays. And then the second baseman Cade Coates will bat ninth. Once again, the first, and then Feezer on the mound. The first three, we've got Tafoya, third base, left or right fielder Julian Romero. Oh, we're gonna get national anthem here for our championship game. All right, national anthem done there, and we will get to the top of the first. It will be Cheyenne Post 6 pitching, and the First National Bank of Omaha North Platte Nationals batting.
This is going to be a special baseball game. As you mentioned, these teams very familiar with one another. They just played, and the Nationals and the Sixers ready to square off for the championship. We have been treated to such great baseball. We've had great crowds. It's been outstanding effort by all the players in this tournament. And it's a real honor to earn the right to shake hands and exchange lineup cards for these two skippers. And this is going to be a very entertaining game, and it's perfect weather. We've got a slight breeze coming from the south, the wind essentially blowing in from left field, and I just can't wait for this game to begin. Mike Fell with Oliver Fell. Oliver, the play-by-play for this broadcaster for this championship game. I'll just be providing some color analysis. Earlier today on Hard Hats TV, we had a exciting back and forth affair won by Sturgis Post 33. They defeated the Canyon City, Colorado Tigers by a score of 7-6. And this is game number 2 of our quadruple header showcase. After this championship game, there will be the Post 22 Expos against the 3-1 team at this tournament, the Mitchell. In the second place game, it'll be the Mitchell Post 18 team against the Post 22 Expos.
Yep.
And then
That'll be the Expos' first appearance on Hard Hat TV this year.
It'll be the Expos,
maybe even ever.
The Hard Hats of tomorrow, making their appearance on the big stage. And then at 4:30, in front of a lot of fans, we will have the game between Kelvin Torby's Post 22 Hard Hats and the Outlaw Baseball Club from Miles City, Montana. And now I'll go ahead and turn it over to the play-by-play announcer for this 4th annual Veterans Classic Championship game. Here's Oliver Fell.
All right. Well, Welcome all of you. We are getting ready. Here we are. Bradley Feeser takes the mound. Big righty, getting set. McAnally taking his digs there at short. It's a star-studded team with potentials of going all the way to Virginia this year for the Legion national title.
And you know, Cheyenne Post 6 has a bit of what you'd call unfinished business. They were so close to getting to nationals last year. They just barely lost a game, uh, either two or up in Idaho Falls, and they have really got something great here. And they'll try to win 4 games out of 4 against a 12-3 North Platte Nationals team, proudly sponsored by First National Bank of Omaha, who's celebrating over 150 years as one of the top banks in America.
Yep, definitely a big one there. And leading off here for the First National Bank of Omaha Nationals is Carson Johnson, their second baseman. Johnson had a older brother come through the program quite recently. Recently graduated as well. Johnson, the second brother out of those to come through, and he will be getting ready to lead off in this game. Of course, Feeser faced this team before. He will be. I bet that familiarity is something that Coach Ty Lang is really excited to have. But also, I bet North Platte's pretty excited to have too.
Keep something else in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Bradley Feeser, who throws hard all the time. He's fresh. He has not pitched in several days.
He did. He's played the field. He's played his
He has
not
not
base.
pitched, though, in
Yes.
several days.
I saw him warming up with different weights of balls, throwing them to his catcher earlier today, out in the bullpen in left. Bless you, I guess. All right, Feeser to Johnson here. Start off the championship game of the 4th annual Black Hills Veterans Classic. Pitch 1 will go across for a strike. That one far from Feeser's fastest, but a fastball nonetheless. Feeser, the 0-1. Down and inside. Johnson, luckily probably able to get over his nerves of facing Feeser with that other game that they have played this year. Like my dad and partner here pointed out, First National Bank of Omaha, only losses this year to Cheyenne Post 6. They call that a ball, 2-1. So, Cheyenne Post 6, or otherwise the First National Bank of Omaha Nationals have been 13-0. This is the one thorn in their side, and they get to get an unexpected rematch here in the Veterans Classic, trying to do something. Feeser pitches behind Johnson. That makes it 3-1. Johnson, considerable speed. Don't want to let him on the base paths. Feeser gets the sign. Feeser right down Main Street. Fastball, maybe low 90s there. Makes it full. I see Harry Good in attendance, watching with his family. Full count, fouled off. And that'll be playable, or not playable, that'll be out of play. The at-bat continues. I will be running after 1 ball. I want one to remember this tournament ball. So if you hear me just run and things crash at some point, just know. All right, full count. Here to Johnson. The Feeser delivery. Off the plate, he'll take ball 4. Feeser issues a walk to start things out.
Wow, that is a big development. Bradley Feeser trying to set the tone as he attacks the top of the North Platte Nationals lineup, and instead he has given up a base runner with nobody out.
Yeah, that's something big here. The Nationals now aboard This is maybe part of that slow start you've seen that allowed Huron to hang in and be down 3-2 in their matchup yesterday, going into the top of the fourth. But Fieser trying to change things. This is now Andrew Brosius, the left fielder. Throw back to Johnson. He'll be fine. Fieser checking in on Johnson. He takes the pitch to Brosius right down the middle for strike one. The 0-1. Fieser checks back in on Johnson. No play made yet. One to Brosius. Bunted back. And one-hand catch there in the stands by one of the, I believe those are the Outlaws. The Outlaw baseball team. They will be playing at 4:30 against Post 22. They decided to stop in for the championship game. They lost 8-0 to this Nationals team earlier in pool play. The 0-2 here, you can tell Johnson did take off for second there on what was supposed to be some sort of sacrifice bunt from Brosius, but it went foul. 0-2, they check in again. Johnson once again able to get back. We got 4 check-ins now to just 2 pitches. But when a guy does actually go on you, it's hard not to check back in on him again. Fieser likes the pitch. He's delivering. Johnson going to second. Anderson throws. That's going to be in time. He gets the out. Out number 1 recorded. Caden Anderson guns him down.
Wow, what a tremendous throw from Caden Anderson behind the plate. Way to help out your ace, Bradley Fieser, getting that out at second base. And now everything is erased on the base paths, and Bradley Fieser is back at work in the office.
Okay, Fieser delivers. That one over and in for strike 3. That'll be out number 2. Fieser gets his first K of the night there on Brosius.
You wonder if trying to force the action on the base paths isn't somewhat incentivized by the realization that future Nebraska Cornhusker Bradley Fieser is on the mound today.
Okay. Inside there, that'll be ball 1. Fieser delivering now to Carter Kelly, the third baseman. I see a Nationals fan in the crowd here with a polo shirt with Nebraska Cornhuskers insignias on it. We got a 1-1 now, but I'm sure he's watching twofold, not only to root on his team, but to see the next starter for the Cornhuskers.
I'll admit, I'm excited. I'm a huge, you know this, I'm a huge Husker fan.
Fieser, curveball, catches the top of the zone for strike 2.
I also am a proud Nebraskan. There's a big part of me that really wants to see North Platte do great today because I love all of Nebraska.
All right, the 1-2 here. Fieser trying to get a second punch out. The delivery. Swing and a miss on the high ball, and that'll be the end of the inning. Fieser gets out. 2 Ks and a caught stealing will end that one. So no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no errors, and nobody left on base. There in the top of the first, we will head to the Cheyenne Post 6 half of the inning at 0-0.
For Cheyenne, going number 13, Mason Tafoya.
Mason Tafoya will lead him
You
off.
want something to drink?
No, I'm okay.
You okay? Sure?
Yeah.
I want to get something.
Okay, Tafoya getting set.
I'll see if I can see a score at the other game.
Okay. If a ball comes to you, grab it. Odds are not in his favor, but maybe. Okay, Ty Robinson tasked with the monumental task of trying to shut down this Cheyenne post 6 batting order, but I'm sure they've saved him for this very game. Alright, Tafoya will lead them off. This is their normal batting order. Tafoya, Romero, and McAnally. I believe Tafoya batting over 400 at the moment. Yep. In that North Platte series, Romero was able to get bat 417 with 5 doubles and 5 RBIs. We'll see how this plays out on the first pitch here from Robinson to Tafoya. Swing and a miss on the off speed. What a way to start off for the Nationals. Nationals, like I said, have not faced any relatively good opponent so far. Nobody even has a winning record. Grounded over to third. The throw to first on target. That'll be out number 1. Robinson able to retire the first on a ground out to the third baseman, Carter Kelly.
The ground out brings up the right fielder, number 8, Julian Romero.
Julian Romero will now come up. Like I said, batted 417 against the Nationals in the series in the 3-game series that they just had last week. Robinson delivers a low ball, just barely, but good eye there from Romero will make that 1-0. Delivery off the bag, that'll make it 2-0. Robinson eventually going to have to throw a strike at 2-0. Romero drives it up the middle over to the second baseman, cleanly made, and that'll be out number 2. Carson Johnson makes that second out of the inning.
The ground out now batting is 27,
Coulter McAnally, the star of the tournament so far. He pitched 5 one-hit innings and a shutout against the Hard Hats that went to mercy rule, and with 10 strikeouts over 5 innings. And then that's just his pitching side. On the hitting side, he's been dominant. He got a grand slam yesterday. That's the only home run of the tournament so far, and at least on the Fitzgerald side of things at least. And he has hit a very good average, got a few stolen bases, several runs, good RBIs. He's been the star. McAnally drives one into deep left field. It will land foul by about 4 feet. The left fielder diving to try to get it, will not able to make the play. That'll make it a 1-1 count here to McAnally. The 1-1. Robinson to McAnally. He likes his pitch, delivers. That one off of the plate. That'll make it 2-1. Pretty close, but good eye, Mac. You're not going to fool McAnally. A 2-1 here. Robinson puts that one in the zone. It'll be 2-2 to McAnally. Robinson trying to silence the standout of the entire tournament. I don't think they hand out MVPs, but if they were, it would go to Coulter. 2-2. Ooh, just a little bit high. Doesn't quite clip the zone. That'll make it a full count. Good eye for McAnally. That was a matter of centimeters. All right, the full count. Delivery. Payoff pitch. Ball outside. He walks McAnally.
I'm still awestruck by Coulter McAnally hitting that grand slam yesterday. He just, no moment is too big for Coulter McAnally.
Especially not against a team that they swept. Hayden Swain now up, the first baseman. He struck out to, in a very fun at-bat with the bases loaded in the bottom of the fourth, to Cortez Palomo, the big man, yesterday. That was my highlight of the day. 0-1. That was to the Scotts Bluff West Coast Zephyrs in a 11-0 mercy ruling. 0-1. Robinson, slightly low. That'll make it 1-1.
I checked the score a moment ago over at Pete Lean Stadium, and no score in the first inning between Post 3
Did you get
Lincoln
a 9 o'clock
Southwest
game
and
finish?
the Post 3 20 Stars.
Did you get the 9 o'clock game?
They didn't have a 9 o'clock game.
Yeah, they did.
We were the only 9 o'clock.
No, they very much did.
I'm not sure
Or
about
the only 4:30 game.
that. I'm not sure about that.
0-2 on the swing and a miss there to Swain.
So I'm going to check.
Okay. Robinson, the 1-2.
Oh, you're right. I don't know.
Thrown high, and a stolen base for McAnally will make it 2-2 with a man on second. McAnally cleanly steals the base there on the catcher Tristan Bayer. 2-2 to Swain. Robinson wants to get out of this clean. 2-2. Robinson delivers. That one is fouled up. It'll bounce towards the front, roll down to about the netting, and be foul. Swain, relatively productive in his series, one of the more productive players in the series against Post 22, but a little bit quiet this weekend in the games I've seen. Not on the defensive end, though. He played a magnificent catcher in their game against Mitchell. 2-2. High ball will make it a full count yet again. Robinson struggling with the full count so far. The manager gives the sign over there to Bayer, relays it to Robinson. The payoff pitch, 2 outs. Robinson delivers to Swain puts it up in the air, playable. Robinson underneath it. He does not make the grab on the playable ball, and that will extend the inning. That was a very playable ball. 2 guys called for it, but Robinson insisted it was his, and that gets to the ground. That's a big mistake.
And we've seen it so many times when you play Post 6. If you give the Sixers an extra out, prepare to pay the consequences.
Absolutely. Well, the count still is full here to Swain. Robinson. The payoff pitch. That one is skied into left center. Underneath it, the center fielder. Play is made. He will get out of the inning. It'll be 0-0 after 1 in this championship game.
It feels like a championship game, Oliver. I'll let you give the recap, and I'll share my thoughts in a moment after that first inning. Go ahead and give us a recap.
Okay, well, for the bottom of the first, no hits, no runs, no errors, no runs earned, and 1 man left on base. Okay, well, quick thing there. Feeser will come out to work again. He was able to get 3 outs and 3 batters, though it did take a caught stealing. The pitcher, Ty Robinson, will lead off for North Platte.
So there was so much that went on strategically. There was so much excitement and tension in that first inning. And you look at the board, and there were no runs, no hits, and no errors by either team. But a lot really happened there.
Yeah,
I
really.
mean, that's the sign of a championship game with two outstanding teams. There was a lot of chess maneuvering going on as to what pitches to throw, how to play the positions. And what really stood out to me was that tremendous caught stealing play by Cheyenne post 6, gunning down the leadoff man at second base. I thought that was a big play.
It was.
And, you know, we are in for a special championship game this afternoon on a beautiful day for baseball.
Absolutely. Big championship Sunday. Everything's been building to this. And these two teams not disappointing so far. Been a back and forth game. Both able to reach base on a walk and did not strand a runner in the case of the Nationals, but they got aboard. And they did strand the runner for Cheyenne post 6. Feeser up against Robinson now. Pitch over the middle will represent strike 1. Feeser with that changeup, fastball, and curve. He'll get you swing out of your boots and be way behind on his heater. That's a heater, a little bit high. 1-1. He seems ready, if not for the starting role, as maybe a not quite in the weekend rotation, but maybe slightly off for maybe the third starter or something like that for Nebraska next year, or they might put him in the bullpen as a long reliever. He has the distance, he has the stamina, and he has the pitching. 2-1. Fouled off. That'll make it 2-2 to Robinson. Robinson feeling up his bat. Is almost a sign of the cross there as he goes up to the 2-2. He'll look at one that's just a little bit high there for Feeser. On a different batter, that would definitely be a strike, but on Robinson, that's a little bit too high. Full count to Robinson. He drives one in between short and third, and that'll be a single, the first hit of the day for either team. Ty Robinson gets on base to start out the inning.
Very good at bat right there. Ty waiting for the pitch he wanted to see, and he knew what to do with it, leaving no doubt that he was going to get a clean single between shortstop and third.
All right, well, now Robinson on the base paths. A bunt shown here for Jack Polk. They check back in on Robinson, making sure he doesn't go, as the bunt would surely represent a sacrifice, I would expect here. I mean, I don't think you're expecting to get a real bunt down for a single or something against this Cheyenne post 6 team. Feeser checks back again. So far, about 7 checkbacks, none of them successful.
Score from Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Pirates defeat the St. Louis Cardinals in the early Sunday morning Peacock streaming network game today, 2-1, and the Pirates are now tied with the Milwaukee Brewers for first place in the National League Central.
That one swung on and blooped into left. Will it get down? It will. That's a single there for Jack Polk, and 2 men aboard with nobody out.
Pirates have won 5 in a row.
I suppose. Anyways, Robinson now over at second, Polk at first. This has been a great productive second inning so far for the Nationals. Still no outs. Up comes Caden Johnson, the center fielder. That one just about got into no man's land in left center. Bunt shown. Fieser steps off the mound. A bunt would do a lot here, put 2 men in scoring position if successful, with 1 out. That being said, it's tempting to just keep trying to hit Fieser if you're getting all these singles. Fieser getting ready, checking in on his second baseman. The shortstop way in for the bunt. It's popped over, but nobody's there to cover second, so no out, just 1 out made. Okay, well, 1 out made there. Would have been a double play if both of the second and shortstop players were not all the way in the infield for the bunt coverage. Out number 1, failed bunt makes the first out. Men on first and second, up comes Tyler Townsend. The right fielder. Inside on Townsend, ball 1. Townsend, very spindly frame with quite the interesting bat wiggle as he gets ready. Quite a pronounced one, goes all the way from the back to the front of his head. Whatever works. 1-0 Fieser to Townsend. Swing and a miss. That'll be strike 1. Some of the Sturgis players watching here, I guess they don't have to go home yet. Sturgis not that far here, though, from Rapid City. Bet they can watch the championship. The 1-1. Pitched and strike. 1-2. This is a big K if Fieser can get it. 2 runs, 2 runners, and 2 outs, both on first and second, would be a lot healthier than whatever else could happen here. That one called. It caught the outside of the zone. Fieser slides that one in, and that'll be the second out. Townsend goes down. Second out of the inning, third K here for Fieser. His second one looking. Up comes Landon Greeno, not to be confused with Greedo from Star Wars. Fouled off, and it'll bounce back out off of that corner of the dugout. This happened yesterday in the Westco game between Westco and between Scottsbluff Westco and I believe it was, I can't remember which team it was. Lincoln Southwest High School. Fieser steps off. Fieser fouls that one off. 0-2. Looking at an 0-2 here, we've got Greeno. He gets him looking. That's going to be another out. He strands 2 more runners, and Bradley Fieser able to right the ship and get out of there unscathed. Entering the bottom of the second, the game is still 0-0. That is the fourth strikeout for Fieser this game. Well, leading off now In the Cheyenne post 6 side of the order will be Corey Williams, the left fielder / reliever. Okay, Robinson going to come out for his second inning. Only allowed 1 walk in the first. Relatively unscathed. One of these Cheyenne post 6 players is going to jaunt over. I believe that is Hayden Swain. Is going to run over to the bathroom to use it in between his at bat. He was the last one up. He flew out to center. Beautiful day. Corey Williams. Coming.
Number 16, Corey Williams.
He's been having a pretty good tournament so far. I don't remember seeing him pitch, but he's a pretty good pitcher when he does. He's been playing DH and the outfield. Had a pretty good game against Huron yesterday. I think it was 3 hits. That's a strike 1 there for Robinson. He floats one over the zone. Fouled off. That'll be the second. The 0-2. Fouled along the first base line. It will go foul, and it'll stay 0-2. That one nearly fair. Glad you all are enjoying. Remember, this is the championship game. Robinson, the 0-2 here to Williams. Swing and a miss on the off speed. Robinson gets the K, and that'll be the first out of the inning for the Nationals.
After the strikeout, next up, number 11, pitcher.
That is the first strikeout for Ty Robinson today. Up comes Caden Anderson, the catcher. Anderson already generated it out of his own on defense with the caught stealing. Grounded over to third. Cleanly played. The throw to first in time. That'll be the second out. So far, a clean inning here for the Nationals. Braden Pearson now up.
Ground up, brings up the designated hitter for Braden Pearson.
Robinson up against Pearson here. Pearson also usually the closer for this team. A little bit high there on Pearson. Would have worked on McAnally or Feezer, but a little bit high here. 1-0. Call the ball outside. 2-0. Pearson the DH. Swing and a miss at the 1 pitch in the dirt. Got him on the breaking stuff. That'll make it 2-1. Robinson locating pretty well right now. Just not getting people to bite on anything, but I guess that last one. 2-1. Over the middle for a strike. Robinson now looking at a 2-2, coming off the K he just had over Caden Anderson. Pearson awaits the 2-2. He's got quite the swing in his bat. Robinson delivers out in front of it, gets to the third baseman who falls and slides on the turf. That'll be a single. Infield single there for Pearson as the third baseman insisted on getting it, not the shortstop. He fell to the ground and did not collect the ball in time to make the throw. That'll put one man on.
Infield single. Brings up number 6, Nolan Horton.
Nolan Horton now up, 2 outs. Man on first. Got to watch out. Pearson has a little bit of speed out there. He sometimes plays the outfield. Check back on Pearson. Nothing coming. Both teams completely locked in right now, offensively and defensively. That one skied up, and they're going to let the third baseman get it. He makes the play. Good call this time after the dropped pop-up by the pitcher last inning. And that'll be the final out of the second inning. So going into the top of the third, the score, Cheyenne Post 6-0, and the First National Bank of Omaha North Platte Nationals also 0.
And not only is this game scoreless on the scoreboard, but it's definitely a game that is kind of playing into the place of frustration for each team in some respects, and that is we've seen this pattern throughout the Black Hills Veterans Classic. Cheyenne Post 6 not putting up a big inning early. It's always seems like it takes a while for the Sixers bats to come to life. Maybe it'll be the second time through the order that changes, or maybe the third time through the order. But we have not seen Post 6 here in Rapid City start fast in this tournament, and they have not started fast today, only picking up 1 hit and not scoring any runs through the first 2 innings against Ty Robinson and the North Platte Nationals. Now on the other side of things, North Platte has to be a bit frustrated. They've collected some hits, they've had some base runners, but they have nothing to show for it. And if you can't get to an ace, a future Nebraska Cornhusker ace like Bradley Feeser early in a game like this, in a championship game, it'll be harder to get to Bradley Feeser as he gets in a groove like most aces do and moves through the middle innings of this ball game.
They absolutely needed to capitalize early on him as they got those first few hits. Feeser did allow quite a bit of base traffic with the hard hats early in their game, allowing 4 runs, but by the 4th or 5th it was over. Man, that one fouled hard off of Anderson's mask. He's fine. The umpire and pitcher shake hands. You don't see that every day.
No, at least you didn't ask him for an autograph.
Yeah, no, he's starstruck out here. The Big Perm, as the social media account calls him. I don't think he has a perm. I think he just has curly hair, but I could be wrong.
Maybe Bradley Feeser will
Way high.
get a Head and Shoulders NIL deal.
Maybe. 1 and 1. It feels like college baseball players are never like as big of a deal as college basketball or college football players, and there's very few. I don't think I've seen an ad with a college baseball player in it in quite some time. That's 1-2. The 1-2 here to Byer, the catcher. Gotta watch out for the heater. I bet I get heater low coming. Nope, heater right in the zone, and that'll be strikeout number 5 for Bradley Feeser.
Next up is second baseman Johnson.
That's the first out, and Feezer has caught 4 batters for the Nationals gawking at balls over the zone.
It is so much fun to watch Bradley Feezer. Larry, who's the voice of Cheyenne Post 6, was here over the weekend. He's not here today, but he told me 2 days ago Bradley Feezer was going to be saved for Sunday. Boy, was I looking forward to Sunday.
All right, 0-1 here for Feezer. Grounded back to second base. Play made by Coates. Cleanly played, and that'll be the second out. Coates played a pretty good second, short, and third. He's playing all over the diamond, also in that 9-hole, batting pretty well, getting a few runs. But Cade Coates, a sneaky, valuable piece on this possible state championship bound team. Andrew Brosius now up. First time he was up, he struck out looking. That'll be 1 strike. The umpire shoots the imaginary pistol over to the dugout for strike 1. The 0-1 to Brosius on the slow ball. Brosius able to hang on that, but not able to swing and make any contact.
Almost every pitch from Bradley Feezer right now is a strike. He has been just completely hitting on all cylinders here in the top of the 3rd inning.
The 0-2 to Brosius. Fouled off. Keep it 0-2.
You can sense the Nationals, they know what's coming, but they just can't do much about what Feezer is throwing right now.
It takes a special kind of hitter to see it, and it takes an extra special kind of hitter to see it and hit it. 0-2. Grounded, along the first base line and foul. That was very close to getting into the outfield for a single. Brosius fighting off right now. 0-2. Feezer might dial up 1 high here. Grounded again down the line and again foul. One-handed grab made by the first base coach.
North Platte, Nebraska, wonderful community. I've been there many times, and it's a great Union Pacific Railroad town, and it's a great town. It's where Buffalo Bill Cody Days happens every year.
0-2. Feezer delivers the changeup, and that'll be the K. They're leaving the field as they should. 3 outs recorded in the top of the 3rd. Still nobody scored.
I'll give a shout out to some fellow broadcasters in North Platte, Chuck Schwartz and Jerome Gilg, and also Connie Jurgens and Pam Waugh, all good friends of mine in the North Platte broadcasting community. Let's go ahead and pass along some scores from college baseball. Florida leading the Connecticut Huskies in an elimination game in Gainesville. The number 2 seed Gators up by 5 over the Big East champions at the moment. That game in the top of the 8th. Clemson hanging on, the number 4 seed fighting for their lives. The Tigers lead Charlotte 2-1 in the top of the 7th. Good one down in Coral Gables. Number 9 seed Miami trying to fight through the losers bracket, narrowly ahead of the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana. That game is in the 6th inning. It's 5-4 Hurricanes. Coastal Carolina blowing out Rider 10-1. That is Coastal Carolina's regional, and that game in the bottom of the 8th. The Kentucky Wildcats on top of the West Virginia Mountaineers 6-0. That game in the top of the 7th. And in Terre Haute, Iowa, on top of North Carolina 5-2. That game is in the 7th inning stretch. East Carolina leading Oklahoma 8-1. That game is in the top of the 8th. And a big surprise in Columbia, South Carolina. The Campbell Camels are blowing out the Wolfpack of
Well,
NC
there's the
State
thing.
8-0 in the
That's
top
not
of the sixth.
that's not that big a surprise. Campbell came into the tournament ranked number 16 in the nation. They just didn't get picked for a regional. They were one of the strongest too. All right. Robinson out here again going to Coates. Coates grounds it up to third. Barehanded grab, and the play is made. Good little play there from the third baseman. That is Carter Kelly.
The outgoings of number 13, Mason Tafoya.
Mason Tafoya, we loop back around to the top of the order. Tafoya, first time out, grounded out to third as well. Robinson delivers. Called to strike.
Game being played so well by these two ball clubs, two teams with winning percentages higher than 800. It's just what you want in a championship game.
0-1. Robinson delivers, grounded over to third again. The throw to first, made. Kelly yet again gets another out.
Neither team committing an error through coming up on 3 innings, and I'm not sure if these two teams are even going to commit an error today. I mean, these two teams are so focused, so well coached, and very balanced. I'm really impressed with what we've seen from the North Platte Nationals so far today, in addition to what we already knew Cheyenne Post 6 had going for them.
Ball delivered there to Romero. Romero batted .417 in the North Platte series before this, in that 3-game series, with 5 doubles and 5 RBIs. Called ball on the diminutive Romero. Probably would have been a strike on most anybody else. Too well. That one in the zone makes it 2-1.
Well, part of what makes Julian Romero look diminutive is he has a very wide stance, and so he lowers his batting position in the strike in the batter's box.
He pumps his foot as he hits that one up and away, make it 3-1. You don't want Romero on board. He's a very dangerous base path stealer, and Coulter McAnally standing in the on-deck circle.
You don't see a lot of open stances at this level. Team players tend to really get close to the plate.
The 3-1 in the dirt, that'll put Romero aboard. Still 2 outs, but Coulter McAnally now up.
Coulter McAnally, the only player to hit a grand slam in the Veterans Classic. And
he's the only man to hit a homer in this side, at least, and the Fitzgerald.
That's right. He is just a threat at any time to hit the ball out of here. Let's see what he does in this at bat.
His last time up, he grounded out to the second baseman. Romero, a dangerous base stealer, wouldn't be shocked to see a check back or something. Pitch delivered, strike 1. It takes guts to throw one right down the middle against Coulter McAnally, but that's just what Ty Robinson did.
You sense whoever can score that first run is really going to get the upper hand in the 7-inning championship game.
Romero takes off. The throw going to be a little bit late. He'll make it to second safely.
Well, Coulter McAnally, the best hitter in 5 states. Wait a minute. He is awarded first base, I think, on catcher's interference.
That's possible.
So catcher's interference is called, and Coulter McAnally goes to first. And you know what? That might be a good thing for the North Platte Nationals, because now the best hitter in this tournament is no longer at the plate, and we'll see how this plays out. But I think if the option was there to decline that ruling, I would rather keep Coulter in the batter's box if I was Ty Lang for Cheyenne Post 6.
Man on first and second. That one delivered high to Swain. I did have to wonder if that was an intentional walk or a catcher's interference. A little talk here. Manager for North Platte coming to talk to Robinson. Robinson done an amazing job so far, keeping this team, the Cheyenne Post 6 team, to just one hit. And one hit being a single, infield single by Braden Pearson. Okay, 1-0 here to Swain. Swain, last time up, flew out to center to end the first. Gotta watch out for the double steal. In the zone. That'll make it 1-1. Oh no, he calls it a ball. It upsets the North Platters.
The North Platte fans are irate.
I thought that was a strike myself.
This is the loudest we've heard any of the cheering sections get after an umpire for balls and strikes.
The 2-0 to Swain. Is driven into deep left field. The left fielder going after it. It will get past him to the wall. That'll score Romero. It is now handled. McAnally coming in. They're not going to make a throw. He is safe. 2-run score here for the Sixers in the the bottom of the third.
Wow, that is a huge extra base hit and an RBI stand-up double right there for Cheyenne Post 6. We were waiting to see which one of these teams could break through first. Post 6 getting off to their customary slow start at the plate, but bang, bang. 2 runs come in right there, and the Sixers may not be finished yet with another player in scoring position. All of this happening with 2 outs.
Yeah, I gotta feel bad there. That one grounded up the first base line. It'll be fair. That'll bring home Swain. Swain with his batter's gloves in hand. He will be safe. And a double will bring in yet another for the Sixers. They take the lead 3-0.
And there is the explosion, and it may not have been really early in this game, but it's early enough to now give Bradley Feaser, the amazing future Nebraska Cornhusker ace, a 3-run lead in this Veterans Classic Championship. I can't begin to tell you how big a 3-run lead is for Bradley Feaser.
We'll see how Feaser handles that. He's not necessarily the shutout man, as we saw with that post-22 game. Okay.
Well, I saw him pitch a 1-0 pitcher's duel in back in April. He can do that too.
Anyways, I don't know. It just feels weird to keep on gushing when there's so many other great players out here. But I suppose Robinson done a pretty good job all day. Man on second, he's just trying to get that elusive final out here in the bottom of the third. Curveball a little bit outside, 2-0 now. I do have to wonder how that controversial ball influenced Robinson's pitching for that 2-run double.
I think that there are some very upset fans for the North Platte Nationals here in attendance right now.
That one catches the inside of the plate. It'll be 2-1.
Yeah, those borderline calls can make a difference, and they do enter into the thinking of the pitcher, because if that strike zone feels squeezed or short or reduced, it's harder to pitch.
Robinson delivers one. It's grounded nice up to short. The throw to first in the dirt, but out is the call, and that'll be the end of the bottom of the third. I say that was a little hesitation, as the first baseman seemed to grab it out of the dirt after he held his position, but that'll be the final out of the bottom of the third. In that inning, the Sixers able to put up 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 of those earned. I believe catcher's interference removes the earned from one of them. Then and then no errors, and 1 man left on base. So after 3, the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers have a 3-0 lead over the North Platte First National Bank of Omaha Nationals in this championship game.
Some baseball scores to pass along from the big leagues from Marlins Park in Miami. The Oakland A's leading the Miami Marlins.
Good for the A's.
5-1. Good for the A's.
Proud of them.
Again, as I mentioned before,
They'll probably
the
blow it.
Pirates have now won 5 straight and are tied with the Milwaukee Brew Crew for first place, beating the Cardinals 2-1 and sweeping the Cardinals in Pittsburgh. No score, Houston versus the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Joe Ryan's on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. No score in Minnesota at Target Field. And other games of note, it is scoreless in Kansas City as the Rockies try to sweep the Royals today at Kauffman Stadium.
All right. Well, Fieser coming back out for another inning. He's got to face up against the 3, 4, and 5, heart of the order in the due-up. Carter Kelly, his last time up, was the second strikeout victim, the one of just 2 strikeout victims to go down swinging. Foul ball, or not a foul, I'm way off. That's a ball outside. 1-0. The 1-0 to Kelly. Fieser delivers. Kelly will take a heater right down the middle. Fieser with a very good polished pitching motion. Most of these players have that. Very good coaching within the Cheyenne Post 6 program. A very fast one caught outside for 2-1. Kelly been a very good third baseman so far today on defense. Looking to help out on offense. It's called a strike. Catches the inside of the zone. Full, or not full, 2-2 here to Carter Kelly. Thank you all for joining us today. This Sunday, that one fouled away. The championship game here for the Veterans Classic. Stays 2-2 on that foul. Kelly getting set for the 2-2. The delivery is made contact. What a play! Cade Coates lays out for the grab in the grass, and what a grab. He went all out, right on the ground, and he just about caught it in his glove. Cade Coates saves a hit.
That was phenomenal, and that's not the first acrobatic or amazing play that Cade Coates has recorded this season. He is spectacular at coming up with web gems like that one.
Absolutely. Well, that's out number 1 here in the top of the 4th. Fieser delivers a ball to Ty Robinson, the pitcher. The cleanup man and pitcher, Ty Robinson, was one of those 2 hits. He got a leadoff single in the top of the 2nd before getting stranded. Swing and a miss underneath that one. Looking at a 1-1 now. On the ground, nobody aboard to have any problems with that, but it will be a ball too. Wild pitch has been an issue all over this tournament, as you would expect. But, affecting more teams than others. I know that Wesco, who got piled on by Cheyenne Post 6, had plenty of wild pitches that advanced runners. That's going to be a strike, 2-2. Ty Robinson trying to work the count. But he needs to hit here. He needs to help himself. and get aboard. Feeser, the 2-2. Robinson stretches out for that. It slowly gets over to short. The throw from McAnally is good and in time, and that'll be out number 2.
Coulter McAnally, he can do everything, including the routine, as we just saw right there. And that ball was definitely a challenge for the infield there,
Okay.
because that ball took a long time to get to Coulter
A
McAnally.
little bit of a clear up. What I thought might have been an intentional walk was an intentional walk. They walked McAnally after the base was stolen. No catcher interference. So that run is earned.
Okay.
3 earned runs to Ty Robinson. Strike 1, Feeser there to Polk.
We thank for that, as viewer, sincerely for that information. That's good information. Thank you.
All right, Polk was the other one with a single in the second. A blooper into just a dead zone of left field. That'll take strike 2.
There is a Polk County, Nebraska.
I'm assuming that's named after James Polk, if I were to guess.
I'm going to guess you're right.
0-2. Polk swing and a miss. That'll be the end of the inning. Feeser once again ends the inning on a K. He's up to 7 on the day. And going into the bottom of the 4th, the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers still lead 3-0 over the FNBO Nationals.
Well, we mentioned it earlier in our championship game broadcast, and that is that for the North Platte Nationals, getting some runs early, getting to Bradley Feeser early was going to be important, because you didn't want Bradley Feeser to settle into the kind of groove that he often gets into, and now he is in that groove. He is dominating.
I see it.
Pitch after pitch, he is just absolutely peppering the zone with hard stuff, and well-located hard stuff at that. And now the Nationals
We'll bring in a reliever.
will bring in a relief pitcher, and they're going to have to find a way to dig deep. But Oliver, you're the one with the scorebook. I don't have it in front of me, but I don't think the Nationals have collected a hit since the second inning.
They have not, though the main reason for that being the incredible grab from Cade Goetz. Then, so coming in to pitch now is Landon Greeno, the first baseman. He will be traded out with Robinson, first baseman to pitcher and pitcher to first baseman.
I like the name Landon Greeno. It's a cool name. Two of the best teams in two of the best states in the United States, Nebraska's North Platte Nationals and Wyoming's Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers.
Don't tell that to the Northeasterners.
If you're tuning in from Nebraska, go Big Red. If you're tuning in from Wyoming, Cowboy Joe, to all of you out there, go Pokes. There's just a lot of pride that these fans for these two teams have for these young men, and for their programs and their Legion Post. And you know, this is really going to be an exciting second half of this game, with Cheyenne Post 6 currently up 3-0.
Yeah, well, now you've been in 2 towns in Wyoming, Casper and Cody. Yeah. Is that the only 2? I believe.
Those are 2 cities.
2 cities.
I've been in a lot of towns.
Well, yeah, but like I'm saying that you've lived there and done jobs there.
Well, actually, I never have lived and worked in Cheyenne.
No, but you've worked in Casper and Cody.
Absolutely.
And then you've done Alliance, York, and Lincoln, right?
Yep.
And then you grew up in Omaha.
Yep, and spent a lot of time growing around Verdigris, Nebraska. Spending a couple summers up there, where your great aunt and uncle call home, and been in plenty of different parts of
both those
Nebraska, and North Platte. Just it's a great community. There's a lot of space between the downtown business district and Interstate 80. But I really like the Whiskey Creek Steakhouse in North Platte. I just love the Whiskey Creek Steakhouse. I've been to the Rail Yard. That's a nice steakhouse and restaurant. by the railroad tracks there in North Platte, and yeah, it's just a great community. And of course, sports-wise, can't mention North Platte without mentioning former Chadron State Eagle Harlan Hill Award winner 2 times, and then future NFL star, New England
Didn't he
Patriot,
win a
and
he won a
San
title,
Diego
right?
Charger.
He won one with them. Like,
No,
really? I
he,
thought he won the 2016.
no. He actually, Danny Woodhead never did win a Super Bowl.
Man, I guess that was Rex
He
Burkhead I was
scored
thinking
a
of.
touchdown in the Super Bowl where Eli Manning and the Giants were able
Oh, okay.
to win in that second Patriots-Giants Super Bowl game. Let's get back to baseball. Take it away, Oliver.
All right, Greeno delivers the first one over and inside the zone. He's delivering here to Braden Pearson, the first man to get a hit in this game for Cheyenne, post 6, back in the second. Pearson, the DH, worked the count and was able to drive one into left. Swing and a miss, big hack there. That'll make it 0-2. Greeno able to make him, take a hack at some wind. 0-2. Greeno delivers high. Showing significant control over his own fastball right now. I haven't seen any of the off speed. Maybe we'll get one right here for the strikeout attempt. 1-2. That one catches the bottom of the zone. Great pitch there from Greeno, and that'll be out number 1.
Correction on pitch, that's number 20, Brandon Greeno.
The strikeout will be out number 1. Up comes Nolan Horton, the 8-hole hitter, center fielder. He popped out to the third baseman his last time up. That one, a curveball just off the zone. A lot of loop on that one, maybe high 60s in its velocity. I'd say he's touching low 80s here with his fastball, so that's quite a difference. That one skied up into center, calling for it the center fielder, makes the play. That'll be out number 2. Here,
So much pressure taken off of the hitters now for Cheyenne post 6 after that 3-run, 2-out rally in the bottom half of the third inning, especially with Feeser on the mound. It's a lot of pressure off the shoulders of Cheyenne post 6.
all right, 0-2. Greeno delivers off the plate. He's going up to Cade Coates, who made that incredible grab at second earlier. Coates yet to reach base today. Greeno inside, make it 2-0. Coates, a very good hitter out of the 9-hole, bats around 345-ish. That one gets the top of the zone, well, the top section of the zone, very clearly in the zone. 2-1. That's I believe it's a B2 if you're a StatCast person. 2-1. In the dirt, that'll make it 3-1 here. Nobody aboard. Greeno has to fire a strike or put a man on. With 2 outs, that's a pretty bad idea going back to the top of the order. The 3-1 to Coates. That one in the zone, he loads the count. Full count now. Greeno, the payoff pitch. Popped up to the shallow infield. Underhand grab there from the shortstop, and that'll end the inning. So through 4, the Cheyenne post 6 Sixers lead 3-0. There were no hits, no errors, no runs, nobody left on base, and no earned runs there in the bottom of the 5th, or the bottom of the 4th, and going into the top of the 5th, the Sixers lead by 3.
Absolutely beautiful day for baseball. 76 degrees currently under sunshine here in Rapid City. And this is game 2 of our quadruple header on Championship Sunday. Of course, this is the championship game.
Yep.
And I was talking to my wonderful wife, Cassandra, about a half hour ago, and she said, championship game, it's just the second game of the day. And I explained to her what I shared with you last night, Oliver, is these teams have a long way to travel on this getaway day for them. So it's 6 hours from Rapid City to North Platte. It's 5 hours from Rapid City to Cheyenne. And so it's great that they can play this championship game in the sunshine in the early afternoon hours here so that these players can get back to their parents and their families and get home maybe around 9 o'clock or so, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock or so, wherever they happen to be. And of course, for those North Platte Nationals, sponsored by First National Bank of Omaha, the Nationals will lose an hour when they go home because they'll go back to the Central Time Zone.
All right.
Number 2, Aiden Johnson.
Caden Johnson now up. He popped out in the bottom of the second. Feeser delivers him a strike. Feeser took some velocity off of that. It wasn't a changeup, just kind of a soft toss, I guess.
Big development in the NCAA baseball tournament to tell you about in a moment.
That one low, 1-1.
I'll share it after this at bat's over.
Okay. Feeser delivers the 1-1. That's high. Johnson getting set. Off the plate. Now make it 3-1. Big pitch upcoming here.
Yeah,
leadoff walk would do a lot.
Yeah, sure would. You just took the words right out of my mouth. That's what it would be very big.
3-1. That one is chopped up the middle. Shortstop coming out to get it. McAnally does not make a throw. That'll be an infield single to start things out for Johnson.
Really, McAnally just couldn't get to that ball after it got to his glove. It seemed to bounce forever. Here's the development in the Clemson Regional. The number 4 seed Clemson Tigers, a serious national title contender on the ropes. Charlotte has rallied for 2 runs, and the Charlotte 49ers now lead Clemson 3-2. That game in the bottom of the 8th, and that's an elimination game.
Man, 2 more innings there for Charlotte, and they might be able to do something big. Still no outs here for Feeser. He's going up against Tyler Townsend, who stuck out looking his last time. They check in on the center fielder, Johnson. Johnson headed for second. The throw from Anderson. Gonna get him again.
Wow, there it is again. Another bullet from the catcher for Cheyenne post 6. Wow, what a tremendous throw to second base.
Caden Anderson guns him down. 0 for 2 on the day for the Nationals, and yet again they wasted a leadoff man. Well, we keep on going. 0-1 now here to Townsend. That would have been a big man aboard, but they didn't trust themselves to drive him in without getting the extra base. Swing and a miss for Townsend makes it 0-2. To Feeser. He delivers, strikeout swinging, and that'll be another out.
Bradley Feeser, just a machine right now. He is cranking up the pitches, locating them overall exactly where he wants to, and I'm sure he felt a little bit of an emotional lift after that caught stealing play helped him out, helped his cause a moment earlier.
Here comes the pitcher, Greeno. He struck out looking as well his last time up. Feezer sits on 8 Ks today. 1-0. Greeno will take that one at the knees, makes it 2-0. His championship game on Hard Hats TV. Brought to you by some sponsors such as Shields. They provided the baseballs for this. Greeno sends it over to second. Coates gets it. Easy play made. And that'll be the top of the 5th done. Nationals still looking for their first run.
No runs, 1 hit, no errors.
Nationals down to their final 6 outs in this game, in this championship, trailing 3-0. Wonder what is going through the minds right now of the Nationals. I mean, they are 13-0 against every team other than Cheyenne Post 6, and it gives you some appreciation if you're a Post 22 Hard Hats fan for what your team was able to do when the Hard Hats won 2 out of 3 back on May the 21st and 22nd, Oliver, because it's very hard to beat the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers once this year, let alone 2 out of 3, but that's exactly what the Hard Hats were able to do under Kelvin Torvey in late May.
Yep. Well, the opening 3, the top of the order will come up here. Tafoya, Romero, and McAnally. A pretty intimidating duo. We'll see if Greeno is up for the task. Overall, I'd say that the Nationals have done a very good job limiting runs. It was just that one little thing there with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Everything else has been pretty well controlled. Greeno, yet to allow a hit, is going to pitch the bottom of the 5th here now.
Now, Cheyenne Post 6 is in a really good position. They have the 3-0 lead. The game is moving into the latter innings, the late innings, and any insurance run is absolutely enormous. And for Cheyenne Post 22, they can just take a loose approach at the plate if they're so inclined, and just get the ball in play and maybe get aggressive on the base paths. Do what they can, because 4 runs or 5 runs would break this game open. And as of right now, it is still a very competitive baseball game. And Oliver, take it away to the bottom of the 5th.
All right, Greeno going up here against Mason Tafoya. Tafoya ground out to 3rd both of his last times up. That one is skied into deep right. It will go foul. Some good contact there. Would have gotten back to the wall had it stayed fair. Tafoya with a pair of groundouts to 3rd. Kelly been his nemesis so far. He looks to get his first hit. Greeno, the 0-1. Bunt put down by Tafoya. Greeno picks it up. The throw to first late. Head first slide from Tafoya will allow the infield single on the bunt.
Very impressed with Mason Tafoya right there. Not only was that a great bunt, he showed his lightning fast speed. And Mason Tafoya, I watched him play at Powers Field down in Cheyenne about a month ago, and he can cover some ground in the outfield too.
Foul off there for Romero.
It's such a weapon. It's such an advantage for your offense to have that kind of speed at the leadoff position at the top of the order. It really is.
Ball outside makes it 1-1. Or was like, no, that's a 1-1, I'm pretty sure. Scoreboard as it is too. I thought it was 1-1. Yep, the umpire tells me 1-1. Romero, waiting. Tafoya headed off. They catch him. Throw to second. They get him there. The throw back to first for Greeno. Tafoya in a rundown. They get it over to the second baseman. He loses it. They go back to first. The throw is not going to get him. North Platte fans thought they got him. I thought he was a little bit late. So Tafoya able to get back to the bag there in the rundown after an errant throw to second.
I was surprised he headed to first, to be honest with you,
Well,
because when Tafoya saw that the
he wouldn't have gotten to second.
The man standing on second lost the handle, and the ball was lying there, I thought he might be tempted to take the bag that was further ahead on the diamond. But
no.
you know, I think it was probably
It was
just
a smart play.
It was good coaching. I think that when you're in a pickle, you go in the opposite direction of where the exchange or the problem happens to be, and that was one of the most exciting plays we've seen all week at the Veterans Classic.
Yeah, well, he went back to first. He wouldn't have gotten to second. It was pretty easily controlled, and he had turned his momentum back towards first. The 2-1 now. Greeno checks up on Tafoya. It worked the last time.
Is our friend Igor still watching from Toronto?
He might be.
Or from Northern Ontario, excuse me.
He might be. Igor, if you are, give us a little bit of a send a message in chat. 2-1. Ooh, off the back there of Romero. That'll put 2 men on. Still no outs. Not a good spot here for the Nationals.
You can tell that hurt Romero just a little bit. He's shaking it off, walking it off, but you can tell just by the angle which he was moving from home plate to first base.
His L8 vertebrae.
That definitely got him at the lower part of his back somewhere.
Greeno going to have to settle this situation. This is the same situation Bradley Feaser faced in the second. Feaser was able to get the next 3 men out. Nobody scored. Driven to center. Going to be under it. Catch is made by Johnson. They're throwing to third. He might get him. He does! Johnson with the grab. Kelly says they got him, and they are able to get Tafoya. Wow, what a throw there from there's that Caden Johnson in center, and that'll gun a man down. Double play.
That was a marvelous throw from Johnson. He absolutely he just got so much on that throw. I'm looking at that ball, and it was very high at its highest point of that toss, and it was on the money. And you know, very few outfielders can throw that well. Post 22 has that kind of presence from right field with Harry Good. It's pretty special when you see an arm like that in action.
Yeah, well, Hayden Swain going to have to come up now. Only has Romero on first. Romero, a big base stealer. Throw out. They check in on him. No throw made.
You have to really tip your hat right now to the North Platte Nationals. They are hanging around, and they're making the kind of plays that a team must make when their back's against the wall in a championship game such as this.
Absolutely. Greeno checks back in. Romero going to be safe. Greeno, 1-0 to Swain. Romero going off. That'll be a swing and a miss, but a stolen base. The umpire saying something.
That's going to be it. The batter is ruled to have interfered with the catcher's ability to throw down to second base.
Going to talk it over.
And that will end the bottom of the 5th inning. And how about Landon Greeno and the North Platte Nationals, sponsored by First National Bank of Omaha, finding a way to get out of trouble. And there were 2 men on with nobody out. right now, Ty Lang pleading his case with the umpire, saying that should not have been a ruling that prevented the catcher from uh, the
He's a little
the
upset.
out from being awarded. But you know what? I agree with the call. I didn't think there was any way that I didn't see any attempt on the part of the hitter to get out of the way of the catcher's ability to try to throw the ball down to second. So there you go. We've made it through 5 innings, and we have a good one going. And Bradley Feeser is headed out for his 6th inning of work. Take it away, Oliver.
Well, after that, 1 hit, no runs, no earned runs, no errors. 1 man left on base there in the bottom of the 5th. And entering the top of the 6th, 2 more chances here for the Nationals to get on the board. Feeser's going to come back out. He seems to be just as fresh as when he came in. And he is going to try to keep this scoreless. He throws a resistance band over to the pitching coach, but he doesn't throw it far enough, so he's going to go take it himself. Maybe he's going to get a replacement, a different band.
Denver Nuggets play the Miami Heat tonight in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. A lot of Nuggets fans in our area, and wow, you talk about great times in Colorado and Rocky Mountain region sports history. Last year, the Colorado Avalanche won their 3rd Stanley Cup, and this year, the Denver Nuggets 3 wins away from winning their first Larry O'Brien trophy.
Yeah, well, as we come in here, Bradley Feeser going into his 6th inning of work is shut out so far. It hasn't been necessarily the prettiest. 3 hits allowed and a couple of walks put aboard, but Feeser's been able to keep it scoreless.
I haven't asked you this on the air in a long time. Are you having fun this summer, Oliver? Do you enjoy being around all this baseball?
I am, indeed. It has been a lot this week, but I do enjoy it. Strike down the middle there. The hardest part for me was probably when it was day 1 and there was pretty much nobody around, and there was not that much excitement in the stadium, not too much stakes, and it felt like, I don't know, it just was the 5 games, that 12 hours kind of worked me out. 0-2 here now to Tristan Byer, the catcher. He'll take one at the shoulders. Ball 1.
But things changed after the first day.
Yeah, they did. I got some relief. And, yeah. All right, 1-2. Byer sits on it. It'll be 2-2. The curveball in the dirt. Remember, coming up after this at 2 o'clock is going to be the Expos in the 2nd place game against Mitchell Post 18. 2-2. Feeser delivers. That one hit past the 3rd baseman. It takes a hop over to Foya's glove, and that'll be a single into left for Byer.
That was interesting because Tafoya had that played perfectly, and there was just this really unusual extra high hop, and now
It's ruled an error.
Wow, if that's an error, that is really being harsh. Okay, well, we have an error. I don't think that was an error, but anyway, that's not my call.
Scored an error,
It might
apparently.
get changed back before the day's over. We'll see.
But Byer reaches base. Still no outs. Byer, the catcher. Up comes the leadoff man, Carson Johnson. I check back in on Byer.
That does not count against Bradley Feeser's numbers, I guess, since it's an error. But
Yeah.
boy,
It
that's
felt like a hit to
really
me.
hard.
It was smoked up the line,
yeah,
and it was a weird bounce. And
I think that's a hit, but it's not our call.
Feeser delivers. That one is flared into left. The left fielder coming in on it. He does not grab it. It'll get down for a single. Both players will stay on first and second. And 2 men on, no out here for the Nationals. Could this be the run?
Well, this is now the opportunity, that window of hope to capitalize on for the North Platte Nationals in this Veterans Classic Championship game. 2 on, nobody out. And here come the Nats in the 6th inning against Bradley Feaser. By the way, the key to that last play, the left fielder, he is playing so far towards center field. He's just giving a huge amount of space in left field, wide open. It was really a positioning decision to put Corey Williams so far towards center that allowed that long single to happen a moment ago.
Definitely. Well, Feaser now facing. They throw back to second. He's safe. The third.
That was a brilliantly designed play that just about worked. It's almost one of those mousetrap plays, if you want to call it that. Coulter McAnally running in, trying to defend the bunt. The shortstop, Cade Coates, sliding over to try to get a pickoff play behind the lead runner.
Well, didn't quite work out. Bayer able to get back. That one is chopped up the first base line. Swain able to get it. He's going to have to tag the man. They call it an out. Man safe at third. So 2 runners advance on the sac bunt, only barely getting the play to net it out. Swain lunging at the runner, getting the tag on the base paths.
Wow, it was an exciting play a moment ago there. Good play by Swain. Great effort by the hitter there for the Nationals. And now here you go. 2 on, 1 out. And the Nationals have a pair in scoring position.
And here
against
comes
Bradley
Carter Kelly.
Feaser.
Carter Kelly has a strikeout in that line out that was a brilliant catch there from Carter Coates. Fouled back.
I think it was Cade Coates.
Cade Coates. 0-1 here. Feaser's got to really settle down. He's good at stranding runners, but we'll see if he's able to here. 2 runs would do a heck of a lot here for the Nationals.
I think they're essential runs, to be candid.
Yes, I think they need these.
These are essential runs that the Nationals need to bring home.
Feaser delivers. That one is flared into foul territory and right. Both people coming in. It will fall right in between them for the second strike.
It was playable, but the ball landed so far away from the right fielder and the first baseman, the hitter will live to fight another swing.
It was right in between them. I'd say a good 0.2 seconds away from either of them getting there. Had it been a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, that could be a different story. Kelly getting set for the 0-2 from Feaser. A ground out would do pretty good for them nonetheless if they're able to do it. Foul for Feaser going into the parking lot. Kelly fights it off.
Here comes Bradley Feaser. He is just so good at what he does. He has this hitter down in the count 0-2.
All right, 0-2 to Kelly. Kelly, 5th pitch of the at-bat. He will take a ball off, make it 1-2. Good eye. Working his way in the count a little.
You can see that Kelly, the hitter, has really good poise. A player with less poise would have swung at that pitch.
All right, the 1-2. Feaser trying to get him going. In the ground, that'll get away. That'll score 1 run, and the runner gets over to third. In comes Bayer. The Nationals on the board.
Wow, Bradley Feaser with a very rare miscue. That ball seemingly spiked in front of home plate. Not much that Anderson could have done there to knock down that wild pitch by Bradley Feaser.
The second run sitting there on third in a suddenly 2-2 count. Carter drives it up. That'll score a run. It's off of the glove of Tafoya, and he'll read safety. Now that's an error. Tafoya, with the error there, it'll allow a run to score and another guy to reach base. The Nationals have the tying run now at first. It's a completely different game now.
And we're seeing the Achilles heel of Cheyenne Post 6 suddenly make an appearance, and that is defense. if you remember when the Hard Hats, Post 22 Hard Hats beat the Post 6 Sixers back on May the 27th in that 8-7 rubber match game, the Sixers committed 6 errors in that game.
Yeah, and many of those coming in clutch time when they needed outs.
And give the Nationals credit. They fought hard. They got out of some really tight jams, especially in the uh, bottom of the 5th inning, and they have carried over their fighting spirit into the 6th inning, and it's now a 1-run game. And Bradley Feaser no longer is in that groove that he was in when he blanked the Nationals the first 5 innings of this ball game. And when you see Tafoya,
well, I'll be honest, I don't think anything changed with Feaser. I think that he allowed base runners. He had guys on earlier. The difference is the fact that those outs aren't being executed.
Yes, and I couldn't agree more. But the defensive lapses are very costly, and thus we've got a 1-run game in favor of Cheyenne.
Up comes Ty Robinson. He grounded out to McAnally his last time up. This is suddenly becoming a very intense and tight child game. He also got a single back in the 2nd off of Feaser. He stands there now. Carter Kelly over at 1st. Feaser, the check back. Kelly's fine. Oh, 1 to Robinson. A floating ball catches the inside of the zone. 0-2. Kelly playing with his batter's gloves right now. Oh, he leads off at 1st. Time called.
Very interesting there. Bradley Feaser 1 strike away from getting out of the 6th inning. With Cheyenne still being on top.
1 out.
Oh, that's right.
There's 1 out here in the top of the... There should have been. Foul. Go back into the corner. Kids run for it.
All of this began with what was charged as an error. We didn't see it that way, but it was an odd hop. And sometimes it's really weird, quirky moments in the game of baseball that seemingly can swing a game.
Yeah,
like
the
this.
baseball dice rollers always just pick. I mean, it's like bowling. Swing and a miss will down another man. Out number 2 here. Robinson goes down. And the man will stay on 1st. 2 outs. Coming up now is Jack Polk.
We have seen 2 great games today. They couldn't have been more different in terms of the nature of the teams and the stakes involved. But earlier today, Sturgis Post 33 beat Canyon City 7-6, and we had that game for you this morning. And now this afternoon, the championship game. Cheyenne Post 6 leading 3-2 over the North Platte Nationals.
All right, 1 ball there to Polk. Polk has a single and a flyout. He will drive 1 into shallow right. Coming in from very deep. The second baseman Coates makes the play. That'll end the inning. Nationals get a lot closer. 2-3 now the score going into the bottom of the 6th.
Oh, wow. Get ready, everybody. Here we go. 1-run game. Bradley Feaser gets off the hill with the lead, 3-2. And how big was that 3-run, 2-out rally back in the 3rd inning for Cheyenne Post 6? That was the opportunity the Nationals needed to cash in on. And you know what? They did cash in. They got those essential
first 2 base runners. And they would have scored 2 without the errors.
They got those first 2 base runners home. They needed to make it a 1-run game to rally in the 7th inning to win this thing, and they're in position. They'll have the tying run coming to the plate as long as they can, with Landon Greeno, keep this game at 3-2. But you look at the Nationals, they refuse to go away. They show their fighting spirit, their championship medal, and Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have one tremendous next 30 to 40 minutes to determine who will be crowned champion of the Black Hills Veterans Classic, the 4th annual edition here in Rapid City.
Yeah, so to recap the top of the 6th, the Nationals got 1 hit, 2 runs, neither earned to Bradley Feaser. 2 errors occurred from the 2 errors, one of them may be debatable on the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers, and 1 man was left on base. Something important to note, that second error on Tafoya was non-integral to scoring the run. Integral to scoring the run, as Tafoya was going to throw to first anyways, make the second out. The other run would have scored. Still would have been 2 runs scoring, which happened, a lot of which based on that wild pitch coming from Bradley Feaser and the sac bunt.
Yeah, there were just a lot of things going on in that top half of the 6th inning. North Platte pulls a much closer. Down now 3-2. Cheyenne Post 6 trying to get to 28-4 on the season. And they are 3 outs away from a championship, but it is a 1-run game. Anything can happen, and give North Platte credit. They were able to get off the deck, and they have outscored Cheyenne Post 6 2-0 in the last 2.5 innings. And here's Oliver with the bottom of the 6th.
Okay, Corey Williams is going to lead off Cheyenne Post 6 here. 2 balls to start it from Greeno. Greeno pitching in his 3rd inning here. He was able to do good enough in the first 2 to stay in. 1 on the dirt. It'll make it 3-0 to start things out for Greeno. Corey Williams with a RBI double back in the 3rd, which scored the run which is now important enough to be the one separating. Greeno off the plate. That's a 4-pitch walk to start things out. He'll stay out there just fine. 4-pitch walk puts Corey Williams aboard.
Next up is number 11, Caden Anderson.
That's big. You like to have a guy start out on the base paths. Caden Anderson now up the catcher. He is grounded out to 3rd and to short so far today. Though he had a very good series against Cheyenne Post 6 in that road trip. Or against, Caden Anderson had a very good series there against the North Platte Nationals. Back there, going for second. The throw on target, but not in time.
Wow, that time the second baseman for the North Platte Nationals, he was on the far outer edge of the second base bag, and he just wasn't in position to complete the tag that he needed to make.
The throw got off in time. It was kind of a weird late steal, thinking a wild pitch had happened, but nothing had. Anyways, Corey Williams gets over to second. 1-0 now. Low again. Greeno has yet to throw a strike this inning. Up against Caden Anderson. They're going to have a little bit of a chat, the catcher and the pitcher.
Let's go ahead and let you know a big score coming out of the NCAA baseball tournament. The number 4 national seed, the Clemson Tigers, are out of the road to Omaha situation as Charlotte stuns the Clemson Tigers with a late inning rally and defeats Clemson 3-2. The Clemson Tigers eliminated as the number 4 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. That's like losing a number 1 seed in the NCAA basketball tournament.
All right, strike called. Greeno gets his first of the inning. 2-1 now. Caden Anderson up to bat. The 2-1. Fouled away.
One other score of interest, perhaps. Iowa and North Carolina tied at 5 in the 10th inning in a loser's bracket game in Terre Haute, Indiana at the Indiana State Regional.
Okay. 2-2 count here, Greeno. High and away, makes it full. Greeno, full count to Anderson. Hacked away at it bounces off of some of the scaffolding for the lights here. And foul. Stays full. That was a changeup there from Greeno.
This run, its potential run at second base would be such a huge insurance run for Cheyenne Post 6 if they could get that run home.
All right. Full count. The delivery off of the plate, and he'll take a walk.
I wonder if we might see a pitching change. Landon Greeno has pitched so well. When you get to a championship game,
You might just have to trust him to follow
two
through.
guys reach base, and there's no outs, you kind of wonder if maybe Greeno is losing a little bit of velocity, but they're going to stick with him.
Well, trusting your guys is also very important. A double play is still in effect. Men on first and second, no outs. Greeno had this exact situation in the fifth, and he got out of it just fine. No runs allowed. And trust him to do so again. Check back at second. Williams will stay put.
Should point out, Landon Greeno yet to give up any runs in this game.
Mm-hmm. He pitches. That one fouled back to me. Girl will get it before I ever could.
If we did not have a roof, we would have had the ball.
I would have
right
caught
here
that,
in
man.
The press box. You say you would have got it.
Probably would have hit the back wall before anything, but 0-1. Check back to second. High throw, able to be controlled by the shortstop.
Cheyenne has just been so solid today, but those two errors in the top of the sixth inning led in part to 2 runs for the Nationals, and here we go. It's a 3-2 game in favor
Greeno
of
delivers the
Cheyenne.
0-1. That one is popped into or fly into playable territory, and no, it'll land in the opposing bullpen. It'll go 0-2.
That ball was in the sky for a long time. Unlike some other foul balls we've seen hit down the right field line into foul territory, that ball was up there long enough that I think the Nationals may have been able to catch it if it had not gone out of play.
Maybe. 2 strikes. Greeno looking for the K. He's got 1 of those on the day. Looking. Greeno delivers. Fouled off the umpire. He's got his mask for a reason. Stays 0-2. A little meeting. The skipper there, Ty Lang, for the Sixers, gives a little bit of advice to Braden Pearson.
It's been really good at bat. Pearson protecting the plate. Greeno not giving an inch to the hitter.
All right, 0-2 to Pearson. Big at bat here in the outcome of this championship. Foul back again.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is championship baseball, what we're witnessing. 2 outstanding teams really locking in every moment of this game.
All right. Stays 0-2. Greeno delivers. That one is driven into right. It'll get down. The center fielder able to scoop it. That'll score 1. And it'll keep, they'll be able to keep Caden Anderson on third, but it makes it 4-2.
And now breathing room, some separation happening for Cheyenne post 6, and perhaps a pitching change coming a little bit too late. You know what I said a few moments ago? The skipper for the North Platte Nationals coming out to the mound, and boy, I know Greeno hadn't given up anything, but it just seemed like he may have been at the end of his effectiveness, and that was a big hit to give up right there. And now the Nationals will have to find a way to score 2 runs in order to bounce back and tie 3 runs to win this game against the First National Bank of Omaha North Platte Nationals. Still a close game, but a pair of runners are at second and third with Landon Greeno still out there, and there's nobody out. There's nobody out. So, I mean, Cheyenne post 6, they have this game right where they want it now. In the bottom of the 6th inning, it would not be difficult for them, especially the Sixers, to find a way to put a 6th spot on the board, on the scoreboard, in the next couple moments.
Okay, Greeno's still out there. A really strong strike called. That was the highest velocity I've seen Greeno throw, and it was right down the middle. 0-1 here to Nolan Horton, the center fielder. If you can just stay in striking distance, you might be able to get this to work. As off, just about. 1-1. The Cheyenne post 6 Sixers have made several careless mistakes and errors down the stretch in games that we've called. If they can stay within reach, maybe they'll get a few lucky breaks and something could crack. 1-1. That one popped up. Greeno underneath it makes the grab. That'll be out number 1.
Greeno helping his own cause, making the grab, and the Nationals literally hanging by a thread, but they're still hanging. They're down only 4-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning, but those 2 giant insurance runs for Cheyenne post 6, standing with slight leads in scoring position.
Speaking of which, our man on third is nearly in the third base coach area. That's Caden Anderson. 1-0. This is to Cade Coates. Cade Coates had a pop-up to end the 4th, and he started out the 3rd with a ground out to 3rd. Ground out would score somebody, a pop-up would not. 1-0. Inside on Coates, able to be controlled there by Byer. Big play from him that would have scored a run.
We're starting to see some activity, some moving around towards the home team bullpen, and it looks as though Tai Lang has activated the closer to start warming up. Perhaps Bradley Feaser will turn over the reins. He's gone 6 innings strong. He's thrown quite a few pitches.
Greeno delivers that one fouled up.
But there is now activity in the post 6 Sixers bullpen.
Well, there's also activity going on, though we're slightly obstructed. I can see a catcher over there in the FNBO Nationals bullpen. 2-1. Greeno. Ooh. They say it was off the plate. That was just barely if it was. Greeno the 3-1. Fouled off into the bullpen or the dugout. Makes it a full count. 3-2-1 count for Greeno. This is a big, big big at bat in the course of this championship game. North Platte needs the out here. The delivery. It is skied into center. That'll score one. Here comes Johnson. They're not going to run on him after last time, but one more run will score. It is now 5-2 for Cheyenne Post 6 on the single from Cade Coates.
I cannot begin to explain how impressed I am with Cheyenne Post 6. They just find so many different ways to come at you in 7 innings, and they're back in front by 3 runs. Cheyenne Post 6-5, and the North Platte First National Bank of Omaha Nationals 2.
Up comes Tafoya. He had a big single his last time up, called strike. Greeno staying in, of course. Men on first and third. Tafoya with the single and a pair of groundouts to third. 0-1, Greeno delivers. In the dirt, handled. 1-1. Checks back at first. No movement from Coates, though he is quite quick. Greeno checks on the runner. The 1-1. Bunt put down. The squeeze play in effect. The throw to first is late.
Wow. Absolutely marvelous execution. Any National League purist would give a standing ovation to that play. Cheyenne Post 6 now up 6-2, and it looks as though Landon Greeno's afternoon has come to an end. And it has. And Greeno gets a well-deserved round of applause as he heads to the visitors' dugout. And the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers, winners of the Fitzgerald Stadium pool with a perfect 4-0 record, now leading 6-2 in this ball game, having out-hit North Platte 7-4. And the Sixers are 3 outs away with a very comfortable lead, their largest lead of this ball game of 4 runs. And Oliver, here's a thought that I have. You get to the end of 5 games in 4 days, you don't necessarily have a lot of pitchers left, do you? It does affect maybe how you make decisions.
Yes.
When you're managing.
Well, and there are strict rules on these for pitch counts, so they can't really throw anybody who pitched over 80 again in the tourney, and they have to wait a few days for people that pitched over 50 and less than 80, and then I believe it's 1 day for anything less than 50. I think it's between 20 and 50 at 1 day, but then they have to. So this is somebody who hasn't pitched yesterday and probably not the day before.
Let's identify this relief pitcher for the North Platte Nationals. Looks as though the North Platte pitcher is going to be Carter Kelly. Carter Kelly.
Nope.
Oh, I'm showing number 4 as Carter.
5.
Oh, number 5. Okay,
it's
Royce
Morkey.
Royce Morkey is getting the appearance out of the bullpen for North Platte, and Royce can throw his warm-up pitches, and this game seemingly has gotten away now from North Platte. They are down 4 runs, but this is a game without a clock, and you never know what the closer has for Cheyenne Post 6. Keep in mind that Cheyenne Post 6 and their dominant ace, Bradley Feeser, he may very well not come in for the 7th inning. Of course, sometimes when a game goes from 4-2 or 3-2 to 6-2, and a head coach, manager could change their mind and say, you know what? Let's see if Bradley Feeser just wants to go ahead and go the distance. And we'll have to see what decisions made by Ty Lang now.
Well, still runners on first and second here as we go up to Julian Romero, who got a walk and was stranded his last time up, but did get also a walk and score the first run of the game back in the third. He extended that third inning further with his walk on 2 outs. He comes up, high ball. Got a shrunken zone for Romero. We've talked about that. Man on first and second here for Morky. 4 is quite a bit, but you can't possibly afford much more. The only way I think that they're in this game is because of those errors that seem to pile up at the end of games for Cheyenne post 6. Off the plate, 2-0.
As the season goes along and Cheyenne post 6 goes into some more competitive late season tournaments, they're going to have to tighten up that defense. If they do, they could do something very, very big.
All right, 2-0 here to Julian Romero. Swing and a miss. He gets him swinging on one far higher than his bat, and 2-1 now. The 2-1 to Romero. They call a strike. He got his knees. 2-2. Big pitch there from Morky. Very high, but very big catch there from Byer. He's able to prevent a wild pitch, advancing the runners, and the count runs full, 3-2-1 again. Morky, big pitch to Romero. Gets the signal. He'll check the delivery. Hit a bit of his arm, it looks like.
Back-to-back hit by pitches issued to Julian Romero.
No.
He may be a little sore.
No.
He gets up tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
He got hit in the back last
Oh,
week.
you're right, you're right.
So he's been hit in different locations, and but Julian is still out there. Seems to be okay. And I'm looking down the left field line, and it appears that the relief pitcher for Cheyenne post 6 has been able to record his warm-up tosses, and he's ready to go in if called upon at the top of the 7th.
This is every pitcher's nightmare. The bases are loaded for Coulter McAnally.
Ooh.
He has a grand slam to his record, and this is not the man you want up.
Could we see 2 grand slams in as many days from Coulter McAnally?
0-1. Breaking ball, foul.
He saw a pitch he wanted, and he did not miss it by very much. Coulter McAnally yesterday, if you were with us, hit a grand slam over the Liberty Superstores sign in left field. Let's see if Coulter can get a grand slam right here, right now.
0-2 count to Coulter. It's driven to center. Johnson underneath it. He gets it. He will throw to third. The cutoff man. That'll score one more. Second out of the inning. It is now 7-2 Sixers.
Coulter McAnally, so tremendous. He wasn't able to drive that ball over the fence, but he had a no-doubter in terms of bringing home the 4th insurance run here in the 6th inning, and it's now 7-2 in favor of the Cheyenne post 6 Sixers.
All right, Hayden Swain now up. He is the last man to bat in this inning, and he will get his hacks. High pitch there from Morkey. Hayden got that big RBI, 2 RBI double back in the third with 2 outs. Could he do something else with 2 outs? Maybe even another 2 RBI double. Morkey sure hopes not. He checks in on the runners. He'll pitch. Low. 2-0.
We've been starting games on time or slightly ahead of time throughout this weekend, but it's now 1:35. Safe to say that the next game will start behind schedule for the first time in a couple days.
Foul ball. Makes it 2-2. Or 2-1. Crowd silent. The Cheyenne crowd silent, hoping for something big. The Platte crowd silent, hoping for the opposite.
We're thankful for our large number of viewers, large audience checking out the game online. It's the largest audience that we've had in a game that has not involved Rapid City Post 22.
That's probably right. We've had a couple reach the high 30s. I don't think anything's hit the 40s.
Except this game.
Oh, yeah. Skied up into center. That should be the final out. Johnson calls off. He makes the play. So, at the end of the 6th inning, there 4 runs come across for Cheyenne, and it is now a 7-2 ball game. Nothing completely out of reach, but it's going to take a monumental effort from the North Platte Nationals to do something and win this game, win this championship here in the Veterans Classic.
Now with anticipation, we put our eyes on the Sixers dugout and see if Bradley Feeser will come out to try to go the distance here in the 7th inning, or if there will be a relief pitcher who will make an appearance. And we saw one of the relief pitchers warm up for post 6. And let's see who's coming out to pitch. Still not determined. Bradley Feeser is walking down the line.
Nope.
I think we have ourselves a relief pitcher. This will not be a save situation, as it is a 5-run margin right now at the moment for Cheyenne Post 6 on top of the North Platte Nationals 7-2. And there is a sighting of the Expos making their way down the grass berm behind the Cheyenne Post 6 dugout. The Expos ready to make their Hard Hats television debut, as they will play for 2nd place honors against the Mitchell Post 18 team, many of whose players play for the Mitchell Colonels in the South Dakota high school ranks, prep ranks. And let's identify that relief pitcher, Oliver, if we can, for Cheyenne Post 6.
What are we seeing for a number?
Number 16.
Oh, that's just Corey.
Corey Williams. It's just Corey. Corey Williams is phenomenal, and
He's been a great reliever
to absolutely shut the door here in the top half of the 7th inning. Cheyenne Post 6, 3 outs away from a 2023 Black Hills Veterans Classic Championship. Leading 7-2 in the championship game. Bradley Feeser, the pitcher of record, went 6 strong, gave up only 4 hits. And Oliver, I think you have Bradley Feeser's strikeout total.
I do.
What would that be?
That would be 8.
8 Ks by Bradley Feeser, who is headed to play for the Nebraska Cornhuskers at Haymarket Park in Lincoln and at other various collegiate ballparks across the Big Ten.
New pitcher on the mound for the Sixers, number 16, Corey Williams.
Corey Williams up. I've
There we
noticed
go.
a slight change, so Corey Williams no longer in left field. So Julian Romero has gone from right over to left, and Ethan Reisdorfer has subbed in right.
Reisdorfer is a good player. Had a chance to see him play at Powers Field in Cheyenne back in late April.
Well, entering the top of the 7th, 5 runs needed here for the Nationals. Leading off for them in this inning is going to be Caden Johnson, the center fielder. He's been great on defense all day. He got a single to lead off the 5th, but got caught stealing. 0-1. That one is driven into left. That'll lead us off with a single. The Nationals get on the base paths. Nobody out. 1 man on. That's exactly what they needed. And once again, Caden Johnson able to deliver. Tyler Townsend now up. He has 2 strikeouts, but both of those were to Feezer. So with this new pitcher, you have to wonder. Called strike. Caught the very edge of the plate there. 0-1. Foul ball right into the catcher's glove. That'll make it 0-2. Corey Williams delivers off the plate. Very similar pitch to strike 1. Makes it 1-2. Williams getting the sign. He delivers, fouled off. Keeps it 1-2 here. 1 out in the top of the 7th. Expos and Mitchell now watching on both sides as they wait to get ready for their game. That'll be right after this. Well, I mean like 20 minutes after this. They'll get to warm up, but... Outside, Williams, they throw back to first. He's safe. 2-2. Definitely a substantial leadoff. Had that throw not been a little bit off of the plate, maybe Swain might have gotten the tag on Johnson. Townsend looking at a 2-2 now to Williams. The pitch. He'll take it. They call it a strike.
Whoa, that was very, very high in the zone, and Williams gets the call, and now Cheyenne post 6, 2 outs away from the title.
No complaint though from North Platte after that call. Landon Greeno is not here anymore, so this is Morky. Race Morky.
Royce.
What I saw had an A in it.
I've never seen it.
Anyways, I guess it could be Royce, but 0-1 here. Swing and a miss, they throw back. Johnson's safe again, but he is being very, very liberal with his leadoffs. Could come back to haunt him at some point. 0-2 now to Morky. Johnson hopefully learning his lesson. He knows not to run on Anderson. He got thrown out his last time. Fouled off. That'll be onto the facility and into the parking lot. Still 0-2. Runner on first. They need 5 runs in this inning. Another out would almost guarantee defeat. That one fouled again. Oh, 2. Swing and a miss! Williams gets the K, and that's out number 2. Now down to their last out. The Nationals are looking dire.
Boy, did Corey Williams pull the string with that pitch. That pitch, probably about 15 miles per hour below his fastball velocity. And he gets out number 2. And get ready, folks. We may have a major celebration here in a matter of moments for Cheyenne Post 6.
Last man in their way, Tristan Byer. He watches one that goes over and in. 0-1 to Tristan Byer. Oh, 2. Williams again ahead in the count. Passes it off to the umpire. Williams, 1 strike away from the win. That one off the plate outside. One, 2 to Byer. He drives one down the line. Tafoya grabs it. The throw is skipped, and he's safe anyways. Able to get there in time. The catcher, Byer, slides in, and he's safe. That was a great effort there from Tafoya, but a little bit late.
Oh, what a tremendous effort by Tafoya, and what a great job by the hitter to get down the line and get to first base and keep the rally going.
Well, that infield single will put men on first and third, coming up to the top of the order with Carson Johnson. Carson with a single, a walk, and a ground out to second. He'll take strike 1. He doesn't believe it. He's complaining back to his dugout. 0-1. Big moment here. Cannot mess it up. Johnson swings and misses. Strike 2. Once again, Williams ahead in the count 0-2. He was able to capitalize before, but then allowed an infield single on the last one after coming ahead in the count. Johnson drives that one into deep right. Going back for it is Reisdorfer. He makes the grab, and there you have it. The 4th annual Black Hills Veterans Classic champions are the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers. They go 5-0. They win today 7-2 in the championship game over the First National Bank of Omaha North Platte Nationals, and that'll be it. Thank you all for watching here, and we have our champion of the Veterans Classic.
And congratulations to both teams. They just played a great championship game. Cheyenne wins 7-2. This was a game that was 3-2 midway through the 6th inning. These two teams really played a great game. The Nationals did not commit a single error, and they did not give an inch to their outstanding opponent that had just completed a recent sweep over them. And this was a really entertaining game, definitely worth the anticipation surrounding it. And congratulations to Ty Lang. His Sixers come back to Rapid City into a stadium where they had lost 2 out of 3 games just 2 weeks ago, and they managed to win all 5 of the games in which they played, including an 8-0 5-inning shutout decision over the host team, the Rapid City Post 22 Hard Hats, and Cheyenne Post 6. Wow, Bradley Feeser today, 6 innings strong, 8 strikeouts, and this Cheyenne Post 6 team, definitely the best Legion team that I've laid eyes on this year, and they are now 28-4 on the year, and we tip our hat to the Nationals. They managed to come to Rapid City and go 4-1. Their record's now 13-4, and all 4 of their losses have come against the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers, who showed why they should be in some national top 20 ranking or something like that for Legion baseball. They deserve that kind of recognition because, quite candidly, Coulter McAnally, Corey Williams, Tafoya, all these guys, Cade Coates, I mean, Anderson with his great throws today down to second base. I mean, this is a tremendous Post 6 Sixers ball club. Hats off to them. Champions of the 2023 Veterans Classic.
All right. Well, we will be back with you in, if I were to guess, this would start at 2:15.
I'd say 2:20.
Maybe 2:20. I will receive word on that in a moment as the PA announcer announces that decision. We will be back about 10 minutes before that for the second place game with your Post 22 Expos facing the Mitchell Post, facing Mitchell Post 18.
Oliver, it's been a lot of fun being on the call with you. I'm going to get some work done over at the radio stations nearby, and I will be seeing you for the Post 22 Hard Hats versus the Miles City, Montana Outlaw Baseball Club in a game that probably will begin, if not at 4:30, maybe closer to 5 later on tonight.
All right. Well, I'm going to hang on here until I get that official time, just so that you guys know when to come back. I'm checking to see if there's a time scheduled. Excited to see our Expos play. I have not actually seen an Expos game. They come into the game 20-2.
I'll be back.
Yep.
Good call, you did a great job.
Thanks. I'm just going to guess it is going to be 2:20 indeed. You will see this, so come back to that stream. I will be there about 10 minutes before the start of the game, and I will see you all then.